Lenovo released its 6th gen flagship business ultraportable, the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, to stay ahead of competition from the Apple MacBook Pro 13, Dell XPS 13 and new players like Microsoft's brilliant Surface laptop. Has Lenovo done enough by upgrading the X1 to Intel 8th gen processors and new display panels? Let's find out. When you pick up the X1 Carbon, your fingers grip the luxurious soft touch lid. This follows through on the wrist deck, making for a comfortable ergonomic typing experience. More on the keyboard later. The X1 tips the scales at 1.12 kilograms or 2.46 pounds, thanks to the 4 layers of carbon fiber reinforced around a magnesium alloyed roll cage. In other words, solid, light and totally sturdy. Built to military standard 810G ruggedized test. It's slightly thicker than the XPS 13, but the X1 has full-size USB 3.0 connectors. What do you guys prefer, slimness or more ports? The sturdy hinges bend smoothly to 180 degrees, allowing the X1 Carbon to lie down flat for group collaboration work. As with its predecessor, the X1 Carbon's bottom case can be easily removed with a small crosshead screwdriver. The M.2 2280 SSD, Wi-Fi module, battery and fan are the only components that can be individually removed, as everything else is soldered to the motherboard. Yes, that's right, the memory is soldered on. The WWAN module can also be removed in models where it is included. The 14-inch Quad HD anti-glare IPS panel on this review model is sharp and colours are vivid. Brightness is rated at 300 nits, not as bright as the 1080p 400 nits panel. The non-touchscreen X1 has a matte surface that can be used outdoors, but if you intend to use the X1 outdoors a lot, we would recommend the brighter 1080p display. With the IPS panel you get great 170 degree viewing angles and no sign of backlight bleeding. sRGB is rated at 99%, so laptop photo editing is possible on this model. On the right there are 2 USB 3.1 Type-C Thunderbolt 3 ports. One of the Thunderbolt 3 ports is integrated into a side docking connector. The docking port replaces the mini Ethernet port of the previous model and a corresponding adapter is in the box. There's also one USB 3.1 Gen 1 Type A and a HDMI 1.4B. On the left we have a combo audio microphone jack, one USB 3.1 Gen 1 Type A, sleep and charge, and a Kensington lock. Around the rear we have a micro SD card reader and 4G LTE micro SIM tray. Slot a data SIM into the X1 and you have a powerful internet ready business laptop, useful where you don't have wireless coverage, for example on a construction site. The X1 Carbon has an Intel dual band wireless AC 8265 2x2 with Bluetooth version 4.1. It's not the latest Wi-Fi 6 card, however wireless signal was good through a big open office into a couple of rooms where the access point was located during testing. The optional ThinkPad Pro dock allows you to dock the X1 Carbon to increase the port count and connect additional external monitors for productivity gains. The USB-C side mechanical dock easily connects with 2 male Type-C ports that snap into and automatically level your device. Once docked, your ThinkPad stays securely in place and sits at a slightly tilted angle for comfort. When you talk about a ThinkPad keyboard like the X1, you simply run out of superlatives. You get the typical chiclet keyboard with slightly concave keys. There's 2 levels of backlighting to keep you going in dark surroundings. For a slim Ultrabook, the engineers have done a superb job to give users a gorgeous typing experience with long key travel. The X1 still sets the benchmark for others to copy. The touchpad with its glass surface did not change either from the previous gen. The gliding capabilities are very good, but the surface is not very big at 10 by 5.8 centimeters, resulting in cramped finger gesture usage. This is a result of the additional mouse buttons for the track point, which sits between the keys B, G and H. Both methods allow precision control of the cursor. The 2 1-watt speakers located in the front section of the bottom panel are quite loud, up to 83 decibels, but the sound just lacks power and dynamic range. The modules work well for typical office tasks including video conferencing like Zoom or Skype, but we recommend headphones or external speakers during music or video playback. The 720p webcam with integrated 360 degree far field microphones does its job for video conferences, but that's about it. It's okay as laptop webcams go. The new privacy Think shutter allows you to cover the webcam when not needed. No more NSA or GCHQ watching you type in your underpants. Our review model is powered by a Kaby Lake R Intel Core i7-8550U chip with 16GB of soldered-on DDR3 RAM and an integrated Intel UHD graphics 620 GPU. For storage, we're looking at a 256GB M.2 NVMe SSD. The i7-8550U has 2 more cores than the previous 7th gen CPU. The base clock of 1.8 GHz can turbo boost up to 4 GHz. Temperature limits allow the CPU to boost for 28 seconds at 29 watts. After this time, or once the laptop has reached 90 degrees Celsius, the processor drops to 23 watts and throttles down to 2.8 GHz across all cores. The downside of this is after an hour's stress testing, the keyboard and underside gets warm between 57 and 50 degrees Celsius. If you're constantly taxing the X1, I wouldn't recommend working with it on your lap, and to ensure the X1 gets good airflow too. Fan noise is kept to a minimum, especially if you only use it with office work. When stressed, the fans come on, but noise is not overbearing. The X1 packs enough arsenal to cover most usage scenarios, for example opening multiple Chrome tabs, using office programs, and editing a 4K video in Adobe Premiere Pro. The integrated Intel UHD graphics 620 performs well for office tasks that this laptop is aimed at. It executes really well in multimedia scenarios, and even high resolution videos are no problem for the integrated decoder. Gaming wise, the UHD 620 is okay for the occasional basic game found in the Microsoft Store. Roblox, LOL, and even Fortnite in low-medium settings will play on the X1 Carbon, especially handy after a long day in the office or on the road. If you need more graphical firepower, there is the optional Thunderbolt 3 graphics dock. Powers the X1, can drive up to 3 different displays, and you can attach multiple USB devices. The highlight is the GTX 1050 graphics, allowing you to handle modern games in medium to high settings as well as a spot of CAD work. Battery life on the X1 is around 8.5 to 9 hours general use, thanks to a 3-cell 57 watt-hour battery. Under load and maximum brightness, the battery life came in under 2 hours. The good news is the X1 has rapid charging. We managed to add 50% in 40 minutes charging from the USB-C 45 watt AC adapter. The ThinkPad X1 Carbon has basic security tools included. There's a TPM 2.0 chip, and you can set several passwords: BIOS, hard drive, boot, a fingerprint scanner to log into Windows, and the webcam privacy Think Shutter. Some models are equipped with an infrared webcam, which supports facial recognition in combination with Windows Hello. 3 pros and cons before buying the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon 6th Gen. Sensational keyboard. The ThinkPad has one selling point above the competition: its excellent keyboard. For someone who spends a lot of time typing, it's a complete joy to use, and one gets spoilt when going back to the X1's main competitors. All-round performance. The specs and conservative temperature limit eke out more performance for the X1 Carbon. It handles most business productivity tasks with ease, leaving you to concentrate on getting that PowerPoint sales pitch right rather than waiting for it to move to the next slide. Lightweight and well built. You pick up the X1 Carbon with one hand and you know straight away it is well built, but at the same time it is lightweight and slim, easily moving it from the office to the conference room to the client site, knowing it will take a knock or two. Limited upgradability. Beware when you order the X1 Carbon that you get the maximum memory possible as it's soldered on. There's no option to upgrade this at a later date. Also, there's no secondary M.2 slot for additional storage, but understandable due to the X1 dimensions. Weak speakers. The X1 Carbon speakers are disappointing and teeny when you consider the competition can still fit decent audio in their variants. If you need to present on the X1, get a decent portable Bluetooth speaker instead. High temperatures. The Lenovo engineers left more headroom for the CPU temperature limit, squeezing more performance, but at the detriment of higher surface temperatures under sustained workloads. The top of the keyboard becomes a little warm, and underneath where the ventilation slot is located gets hot. Definitely not a laptop to lean on your lap for long periods. So if you're considering the X1 Carbon, what are the alternatives out there? In no particular order, here's a list to consider. The Dell XPS 13. Razer Blade Stealth, Apple MacBook Pro 13, Microsoft Surface Laptop 3, HP Spectre X360 13, HP Elite Dragonfly, Huawei MateBook X Pro. The 6th gen version of the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon takes a winning combination of sleek, minimalistic design, high-end performance and business-friendly features. It adds effective 8th gen CPUs and better displays than the previous model. The X1 stands out with its amazingly comfortable to type keyboard, all-day battery life and useful ports. Okay, it's not the most beautiful Ultrabook out there, and yes, battery life could be better, but the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon 6th gen is a phenomenal business laptop in an increasingly competitive category. What do you guys think? Leave your comments and discuss below. Hope you guys enjoyed the review of the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon 6th gen laptop. Please click on the like button if you enjoyed this review video and subscribe if you would like to watch more of our tech videos. Thanks for watching. Cheers.